Hey, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I apologize if my signal's a little wiggy. We're having some inclement weather here in Guatemala, so my signal, we don't know. So, fortunately, I have my co host Will here, and if I fuzz out for some reason, will take the helm. So we pre-recorded our conversation earlier just in case this happened. So we'll go ahead and run that, and then after the pre-recorded session, we'll do some Q&A on live stream, and we'll just see how it goes, guys. Thanks. Hey, everybody. This is Jim Largo, and welcome to Largo's Lair. This is our inaugural broadcast of the AF3, otherwise known as a forceful fellowship for those who enjoy alliteration. With me tonight is my buddy Will, who is going to help us explore the lore of Valaverse. And here's Will now. Hey, Will.
Hey, Jim, how are you? Good, good.
I'm getting there slowly. This is kind of daunting doing this whole thing. I mean, if you asked me a year ago if I'd ever do a live stream, it'd be like, no. But, we both kind of got into Action Force and got excited about the line and said, this might be something we could do. So, how did you find out about Action Force? I mean, it hasn't been around that long. I mean, the Palatoy has, but the new Valiverse version is kind of fresh.
Yeah, well, that was just it. Being from the U.S., G.I. Joe was my thing. It was my favorite toy line as a kid. And when I got back into collecting, sometime around like 2017 or so, I really was enjoying, rediscovering all my favorite G.I. Joe things. And I think it was like in 2018 or something, I discovered Analog Toys on YouTube. And he had all the info on the Palatoy Action Force. I had only heard about it here and there, and there really wasn't one place where I could get all the details, or I never found a place until I found that channel. And I got that whole awesome story of, Palatoy's parallel existence to G.I. Joe through there. And, in some ways, I liked Action Force better as an international group, than, the Real American Hero. But, so anything Action Force, I was just eating up. And then I think it was when I attended Joe Fest in 2021, and of course I see Action Force. I'm going towards it. I'm like, what is this? So, saw the booth.
So you had heard of Action Force from the Palatoy. You already were aware of that. So when you saw,
I was
the name
aware
again,
of that, like, and I had heard some things about Action Force coming back, but I didn't really know all the details. So when I saw the booth up there at Joe Fest, I went over there. I got this awesome T-shirt back in 2021. Saw that there was a bunch of issues in the comic. Picked those all up. We saw the prototypes. Met Bobby Vala. He was really cool. I think he even threw like a little after party after one of the nights Joe Fest at a local brewing company. I got to go check it out. And, I just showed up there alone. But within minutes, I was talking to other pretty cool dudes hanging out and just talking about Action Force. I learned a ton more about it. Set through the panel where he did the announcement for Tim Kennedy. That was really exciting. And, like I said, after that, I was following everything. Any YouTube channel that was talking about Action Force. Followed them on Facebook, all that stuff, and was really anticipating the release, which was coming later the year. I think in the summer,
Okay. So at
Iconicon came
that
out.
point, y- right. So at that point, none of the figures had hit the market yet.
No, no, nothing was live yet. Yeah, it was all prototypes at the first showing I saw at the booth, and I think it was during Iconicon that I really connected with a lot of other people in the toy community who were watching these channels like Retro Blasting and Analog Toys, even the Valaverse. He was doing live streams and talking more about the toys. I saw him doing interviews with other channels as well. And then they announced
I
the
think
Desert
that's where
Rat
we
figure.
met. Was
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it was through, that 6 degrees of separation kind of thing. It's
hmm
like Iconicon introduced me to some newer channels like Grindhead Jim. Grindhead Jim introduced me to Wilhelm. I think before
yep.
you had a Wilhelm toy and hobby, I just saw
Oh
you in the
yeah,
chat. We just
absolutely. Yep.
kind of hit it off. So
And
man, I
yeah,
can't
and
imagine just
no, go ahead.
when you're at. Oh, I just want to
Yeah,
pump your brain about the Joe Con or Joe. Is it Joe Fest? Joe Con. It's
it was
Valacon
it was Joe
unofficially.
Fest, but in
Right. Then
2021, I
it was
think it
Joe
was
Fest.
still Joe Fest. It wasn't until, I mean, things really just started heating up when they announced the Desert Rat figure. That was such an exciting moment. It was just a great end to. I think it was right at the end of Iconicon. And once again, I was really pumped. I had read all the comics. I was really looking forward to the next issues and the release. And then we had Joe Fest 2022 rolled around, or yeah, it was 2022,
Hmm.
and things changed. It was Valicon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
walked
it
in
was
there with
definitely.
early bird access. I had my list of things I was picking up, and I got on that line, and I couldn't even see. Like I said, it was so ridiculous that like we were lined up to get to the Valaverse booth. Security's yelling at us, telling us to go somewhere, but there's nowhere to go. They're
So
like,
you
you're
had people
blocking other
queued up,
vendors.
yeah, queued up
Yes,
for Valaverse so far back that other
it
vendors
was
couldn't get
blocking
people to their
people from
booth.
coming into the convention, and it was
Wow.
blocking people. And so I don't even think the convention was prepared for it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, at one point
Yeah.
they're like, you have to move. And I'm like, I'm not moving because this line
I'm
is
not
not
getting
getting
out of
any
line.
shorter. Yeah, yeah. So,
Exactly.
they're like, you're blocking other booths. And so we're like standing in the middle of the aisle trying to make it work. But you know what? Those guys, I got to just say, they were like a well oiled machine. You had Bobby Vala himself back there. I think Sal from Two Cents Toys, Laser Pants, and Analog Toys, Tony. They were jamming, man. They were, because you had people coming up, not only just buying stuff like crazy, like it was like mad,
Oh yeah.
and
And then
but
everybody
they're
wants to
also
ask
trying to.
questions.
They want to ask questions.
Sure.
They want to interact, and Tony's coming out of the booth taking pictures, but then running right back. While making change for people, greeting people. It was crazy,
Right.
but they
So
really
for
did a
those
great
guys,
job,
they're hustling. They're not getting a chance to
dude.
actually enjoy the
They
con. They're working.
they worked their asses off that weekend. I'll tell you. I mean, I'm sure it's a good problem to have if you're Bobby Val, because it was, like I said, without a doubt, and that booth stayed busy. So it really was. They took over. It
Oh
was
yeah.
great. But
So
we got to
who are some of
see
the
so
people
many
that you
new
got to
things.
rub elbows with at the con? I mean, people we know from the chats or other Action Force enthusiasts.
I didn't meet too many people from like I guess the people that we interact with every day. I did get to meet like some people at the Comic-Con meetup after Joe Fest.
Oh,
There were
okay.
some really awesome people there, like Scuba Pete. Got to meet him in person. Gojatron, uh, Jeff Hicks. I'm gonna forget some people, but there was just tons of people.
ML
Jeff
series
Hicks.
was there, I think.
ML series was
Did you?
at. I saw him at Joe Con. Joe Con. Jesus Christ. He was at Joe Fest, the first one. As a matter of fact, he was like one of the first people to talk to me. Super nice guy.
Cool.
I was just kind of sitting there drinking a beer, and he just said, "Hey, what do you like about Action Force?" We just started talking. So yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in the
He's
chats
really
here and
active
there.
in the what do they call it? The Legions of Valiverse on Facebook. He's always in there, contributing and keeping things
Yeah, I
positive.
think I
So
saw he posted some tips on the new ladies there. He was doing some swaps, and he had some heat warming and warming the joints
Oh
up
yeah.
and popping them out tips. So yeah,
Yeah,
always
shameless
appreciate his
promotion,
feedback.
kids. Go get yourself a unofficial laser pants heat love gun
Yeah,
while supplies last. It's just
yeah.
basically a hair dryer, and it has become my common practice now. As soon as I get a new figure, Valaverse or anybody, they get the heat gun for a minute before I start moving them around,
And
just to
yeah,
be
and
safe.
just when we couldn't be excited enough, the panel at Valicon 2022, I mean, just blew us away. We got the movie announcement, which I think was teased ahead of time, but they locked in their director, really just got us excited. He also announced some the exclusive that went to I forget. They're not around anymore, so it's on Valiverse.com now.
Oh,
So
right.
uh,
The infantry commando.
yeah, that
Yes,
went
good
live
figure.
right during the panel, which was pretty crazy. And then just a lot more stuff. And the ladies were announced, which we saw come out now. I got to pick up the last 3 issues or 4 issues that I didn't have, which was the Tim Kennedy, Desert Rat, and Pandora issues, which were
Sweet.
all really cool and
Really
really
good.
kind of really good comics. And
Right. These are
like I
not for
said,
children. These are adult
no, no,
stories,
no,
and
but they're pretty
there's
good.
even a warning label on a few of them.
And like I said, when I was just talking, he's like, when I read the story, the premise, the world that the story takes place in, it all just clicked with me. I was like, this is it. This
Right.
is the story I've been waiting for in this world that we live in now of constant, you know, rehashes, re-releases, remakes. It's so satisfying to have something that's familiar and harkens back to, the days of our youth, in tone, I would say definitely, the Action Force way, but
Hmm.
is completely fresh and an original take on something that we haven't seen before. So
Right.
it's the
Absolutely.
natural
And in all
evolution of
respect
what.
to, yeah,
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
what came before, it's like that was one of the drawing points with Greatest American Hero, with the GI Joes, because when I was a kid, I started with the Adventure Team Fuzzy Head Kung Fu Grip 12-inch guys,
Oh
and
yeah,
then everything kind of that kind of went away, and then suddenly the smaller versions came out, but now there's a storyline. Before, Joe was just Joe, and he had like Bullet Man and Mike Power, the Atomic Guy. So there weren't very many named characters. There was just Joe
hmm
and your mission outfits you could buy for him, but
yeah,
you
kind
had
of
to make up your
changed
own
the
story
parameters.
pretty much.
hmm
Now you have a storyline, you have individual characters, they all have unique sculpts, they have unique backstories. We had file cards, so that was a huge change,
Yeah.
and it was
Oh,
awesome. And then we had the cartoons and the comic books, and some beautiful artwork and really good writing, good storytelling, especially from Marvel and Devil's Due and a few of the other publishers that it's
and
bounced
I
around
think
from
it
over
is
the
that
years.
deep, that rich storytelling that endears you to the characters more than it just being a
Yes.
a figure or an item. You know, um, I talk to people all
Yeah,
the
so
time,
when
and
all that went away, and Hasbro in their infinite wisdom put out those stinker Joe movies that just kind of tanked everything, it
yeah,
was kind of a real disappointment. And it just there was a desert for a while. There was nothing. And at that point, for me, I was collecting the 112 scale, but mostly superheroes. I was into DC and Marvel, and I wasn't into military lines at that time. I'd had some when I was a kid, but as an adult collector,
sure,
just wasn't on my radar. And I missed the Kickstarter. I didn't know anything about it. I was browsing Big Bad Toy Store because they get a lot of my wallet every month.
yeah,
And I remember seeing on there Valiverse, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? And I looked at the pictures, and they were all pre-orders, and I'm like, damn, these are
yeah,
nice. And I started, checking this like pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. Then I started doing some research, and I saw the prototypes being talked about on a couple of different toy channels where Bobby had sent them out to people, just like, hey, this is what's coming. Here's the articulation. It's going to be awesome. Then I started doing some research into what is this? Is it just generic figures? It's like, no, no, no. There's going to be a story. This is going to be what you loved about what came before with other toy brands, but cranked up to 11. You know,
Yep.
Bobby's got a plan. He's been in the comic industry. He understands how to do storytelling visually, and he's going to take that knowledge and also put it into the toy because you know he's worked in the toy industry as well. So he's,
And
I
I
think,
mean,
having both of those different creative influences definitely went into how the line came about. So, like
and
I
you
said, I
could
missed the
see,
Kickstarter, but
yeah,
when
you could
oh yeah,
see
go ahead.
from the quality and quantity of the figures, the accessories you get with it, the attention to
Yeah.
detail that's been put into them. Um, you know, he made an action figure line that he would like to collect. Is the message
Yeah.
I get? You know what I mean? He had the
Well,
fans
you
in
know,
mind.
and that's like the mantra we get from retro blasting. You know, when Michael says the fans are doing the best work, Bobby Vala was a fan. He is a
Yeah,
fan of GI Joe,
but
the
what
good
sets
stuff
this
that came out.
apart is not only is he doing like from the perspective of like coolness, the fan work because the
Yeah,
fans, like corporate world, like they always pick like the dumbest thing to do when you're like you have so
seems
many
like
cool
it.
options and you picked this. He picks all the coolest things, but he also produced them at a level of quality that is far above. You know what I mean? I think I even said on that, that poll back in before the new year. He set the bar, and as a result, we saw classified raise their standards and produce a better
Oh yeah.
figure in
I mean, you
2022.
know, this is the Sarge. This is the Sarge the way he
Hmm.
looks today. The head sculpt is beautiful. This is the series one because he's got the jacket. His campaign cover is on point. There is no warpage. It looks perfect. Unlike some other products that have come out that I won't name, there's
Yep.
it's the real deal. And his accessories match who the character is. He's got the finger telling the guys what they need to be
Which
doing. He's got his
it's
signature, hand
clear.
cannon, and it's obvious that
It's
he put a
clear
lot of
that
love
the
and
that the
detail.
toy line itself has been made with love. You know what I mean? It's really been cared for. But there is one portion of Action Force that I noticed, and I could be wrong. There might be people much better than me talking about it, but when I like to talk about the things I like to watch others discuss and talk about those things as well. And
What a novel concept!
yes, so I did notice in my experience that this portion, the story portion of the Action Force line, is underserved in the community. Whether it's
Oh
not
yeah,
true, it could but I don't see a lot of content about it. I see a lot of content, and
right,
I see and enjoy those videos, but you know, not too many people talking about the lore. So
right, and
when you and I
that
were
is
talking
exactly
about
what brings us all here. Yeah, that's why
our
we're here right
mutual
now
love of the
because
lore and saying, hey, what
yeah,
if we sat down and talked about this? And I said, um, do you think anyone else would want to listen to it? You said yes. So here
yeah,
we are. And all I'll say
exactly.
is that
It's like
this was a minor
oh, go ahead.
suggestion, and Jim, you just picked it up and ran with it to places I couldn't even dream. And really the goal here is to engage with those other fans out there, just like us, that enjoy the story and want to talk more about the characters, and see where those characters have been, where they're going in the
Hmm.
future. Looking forward to anything that comes out, and then maybe hook some of you folks out there that like the toy line, like the idea, but you're not so familiar with the characters for whatever reason, and maybe get you to
Yeah,
get more into them, and
yeah,
take these
exactly.
characters and kind of shine a light on them.
Right. It's like for me, I have been really enjoying my time being a co-host with Bill on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. That's my weekends. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we get together and we talk about everything from sea monkeys to
All kinds
street
of things.
magic and vintage
Yeah.
toys, everything. So, but that is one particular area, and that's what we do. And I have talked about Action Force over there, but it's like I need a different place to specifically talk about my love for this particular toy line, and
Hmm.
the customizing that you can do with it, and some of the third party accessories we found that work with it. And it's like, what is something I can do that would be worth doing that every other Tom, Dick, and Harry isn't doing? It's like there are some guys out there who do great figure reviews, and they do the 360 spin, and here's all the articulation, and here's this and that. And it's like, I'm not that guy. I might do a couple reviews here and there, but it's mostly if it's something that is kind of unique or oddball or weird or fantastic, then I'll try to cover it. So it's
Yep.
like you said, I'm trying to spitball in my head. I'm like, what can I do with Action Force that hasn't already been done? And I'm like, I love the Mission File comic books. I love the
The
storyline. And then when I
the
heard Bill Nedro was putting a novel out, I'm like, yes. Oh, you got
I
oh
got
yeah,
mine right here,
got mine right
and
here.
I was saying that if you like the comics, you're gonna love this. I'm not too
Dude, it
far
is.
into it. I just got my copy, but from what
Mhm.
I've read so far, this thing it's action packed. It's great.
Oh
I
yeah,
love the characters. I love the way they're
yeah.
written, and
Shameless
I don't
promotion. Bill
think that
Nedro did a great
yeah,
job. The characters you love are in here,
I'm
and a few
still
characters you've never heard of.
in the single digit chapters on this. I'd be embarrassed
Right.
to tell you how many pages I've actually read because I'll look like a dope. But
Well, it's
I'm
it's like the old
I'm a
saying,
couple
life
chapters.
life is what happens when you're making other plans. Every time yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Every time I sit down to read another chapter, there's like six other things that come up that need to be done, or the
absolutely. So
honeydew list. You have a
so
honeydew list. You're married. You know how that goes.
absolutely. So we're looking to break it down. We want to do a live stream every other week, I think, right on Mondays,
Yeah.
and we're looking to do one character and just take a deeper dive in there, and just explore them. And we decided we're just going to go right in chronological order, right, with the first character being Condor. I think
Yeah.
that we're
So
also going to
even
do a
though,
brief
yeah,
overview.
yeah, exactly. It's like I know Series 3 is the new hotness because I've been waiting anxiously for the ladies, but we're going to go all the way back to Series 1. We're going to start with Condor and work our way down and go character by character as much as we can from the lore that is out there, from the mission files, from the back of the box on their they don't call them file cards. What do they call them? My just went out of my head. Combat profiles. So the combat profile has kind of a basic write-up of the character, their specialties, their MOS in the military, and now we have Bill's novel. So we have some areas to draw from. We're not going to do a lot of heavy spoilers. So
No,
I
no,
don't want to spoil the novel for people who haven't read it yet. But what we
no.
will
We're
do is,
just
like you
trying
say,
to
character
kind of
study.
highlight the coolness of these characters and kind of
Oh
get
yeah,
you to give you some of the facts about them, give you kind of their essence, what we enjoy about them, and then let you go out there, read the book yourself, and decide what you
yes.
enjoy, and hopefully come back, join us in the live chat, and just talk about it with us. I'd really
Yeah,
appreciate that. I mean,
exactly. I
that's
really want, yeah, I don't mean to talk over you, but I'm
no,
excited.
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
I want to see some chat interaction. I know there's some other Action Force guys out there, but I do want to make a couple of disclaimers here while we're here. A, I do not work for Valaverse. I do not get unpaid stuff. I buy all my stuff. I love my stuff. I'm a fanboy. Okay, I am not an aficionado of every nomenclature and or weapon ever designed. I was a military, but I am not an expert. So I may get some
Yeah.
nomenclature wrong. Please don't fry
Oh,
me in
believe me,
chat if I call one weapon another weapon.
we're gonna get
Yeah,
all
so
kinds of stuff
we'll try to
wrong.
get it
I mess
right,
up.
but yeah,
Yeah.
if we do
But we're
get some
here to have
nomenclature
fun.
wrong,
We're here
just
to
let us
enjoy the
know.
characters,
Yeah,
enjoy the story, and then share. We really want to hear
yeah,
from you. We want to hear what you think about the story as well. Uh, you know, Also, I'm not here to fight any battles either. I'm just here to enjoy the story. So
exactly.
I know that there's other IPs, and GI Joe is definitely an inspiration to a lot of this stuff because
Yeah,
it stems from it. But I think there's room in the world for both of them to exist. But I think you're
exactly.
fooling
I'm,
yourself if
I'm
you're saying that
yeah, I'm
this.
going to use my extreme close up here. You can like both. You can like G.I. Joe
Yes.
Classified, and you can like Valaverse.
Yes.
It's okay.
It is okay.
So yeah,
So
it is okay. It's fine. We're not talking about classified here. We're not going to do comparisons because we're not specifically looking at the toy figure stuff. We'll mention it, but we're looking at doing what is the lore, what is the storyline, who are these guys, what is the garrison, what is the swarm, what is New Colonia? There's a lot of questions that people may not even know about because they just see cool military figure, something I can customize, and they've never even explored how deep this rabbit hole can go. You know,
so we're
that's
going
what
to
we're gonna do.
explore the lore. That's a
Explore the
Jim
lore,
Largo.
baby.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, I think we
Trademark.
Largo's lair. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I think we've covered why we're here, and we're
Yeah.
hoping you'll join us next episode where we're going
Yep.
to do a brief summary of the world as it is in the storyline, how it's
Exactly.
changed from the world we live in, and
Yeah,
in the
we're going to
next
keep it short and
episode.
sweet. We'll probably keep it about half an hour, like we are tonight. So
Mhm.
next time, we'll look at doing every other week, maybe weekly if it gets really hot. We're playing it by ear right now. It's up to you guys in the chat if this is something you want. If it's something we can juggle every week, we'll try.
Yeah,
So yeah, next episode we will explore what has happened to the United States. What is the decline? What is New Colonia? And just the overall view. And then after that, we'll start in with Condor. Yeah.
yeah, sounds good. I can't wait to get
All
started,
right.
and hopefully by then a couple weeks will have passed, and I will be through this and have a lot more
Yes.
notes on the characters.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Yep.
I'm eager to finish, but at the same time, it's like I don't really want to finish because then it's over. It's like I'm
Yeah.
enjoying going through the process and the gunfights and
And
the
then
storyline.
and
It's
then
like,
we could speculate about what's coming next in the movie too. So I
oh,
don't know if this
absolutely.
book
Yeah,
leads directly into the movie, but
that's a good question, and that's again, that's something we can put out there in the ether and see if we can get an answer. I know that the major motion picture is being worked on, and so the lore as we know it is still going to evolve. What was on the back of the action figure package may not be exactly the same. There's even a note that Bill put here in the beginning of the novel that says that there are a few things that have changed from the initial toys. Yeah,
yep,
note to readers, Carrick and Bone Collector. There's a couple of their details that have changed because Bobby is still evolving the storyline. So we'll go over what has come, and then where we know, we'll make notes of saying, okay, well, this has changed, or this is where we are now, and we can speculate about where we're going. We might be wrong. We'll see when the movie comes out. So
yep.
don't,
All right.
we are not the chroniclers of canon. We're just, guys in the peanut gallery, just like, everybody else.
Yep.
So this is exciting, Will. I'm glad you decided to bring this to my attention and let me run with it. I'm having fun,
Yeah.
and
I'm
hopefully
really
everybody
glad
in the chat will too.
you have me along for the ride. So thank you. I
Oh, dude,
appreciate
I wouldn't have anybody else as a co-host, man. We
it.
may look at having some special guest experts down the road because there's a lot of guys who know more than we do. So if anybody's
Yeah.
interested, hit me up. Check, send me an email or check me out on Instagram or something and let me know if you're interested, and we'll see what happens. So
All
everybody, have
right.
a good night. Well, that went pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't want everyone to leave when they heard us say goodbye, so I ended it. Just so you know, thank you all for sticking around. I didn't want anyone to be confused by the thing, but due to Jim's spotty internet, sometimes we pre-record some portions of the show, and we'll continue to do that. But we'll let you know in the chat
Yes,
when we're
but
doing
it
a little
was
different.
filmed in front of a live studio audience of chickens and roosters.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool,
Speaking of
Jim.
which, a little shout out to our buddy Adam at Radical Toys. He made a little something for me, and this is for you, buddy. See if I can get him to pop up here. Don't be shy. There he is, Eduardo.
That's great. That's great.
He'll
Hey, I
be
just want to say,
popping
first of
in.
all, thank you everyone who came. Thank you, Grindhead Jim. I'm sure your lead-in helped a lot with that, and
Yeah.
most of all, Jim Largo here because he really killed it with the intro and all this work he's been doing on this. I've been going to work and just popping in and kind of riding his coattails. So, let's hear it for Jim.
Thanks, guys. I'm having a lot of fun. That's the whole point. It's like we said, we're not experts, we're not gurus, God forbid. We're just guys who enjoy this toy line and we enjoy the storyline and we just want to see where this goes. So I love the chat interaction and I hope that continues as we move forward. And I think maybe we can show them a little teaser. What do you think, Will?
Absolutely. You want to hit that, or you want me to do it?
Let me hit it. I got a button
Okay,
here.
hit it.
And
All
my
right.
internet's actually working. So enjoy. This is a taste of things to come. All right, kids, that is our show for tonight. And next time we'll talk about
Do your
just the
homework,
general.
folks.
Yes, do your homework, read your book, read your mission files. They're available either, most of them are still available in hard copy at Valaverse. You can also get them through Comixology or Kindle if you're into that. And the book is available at Amazon in hardcover right now. So let's explore the lore and see where this goes. It's a rabbit hole. I love rabbit holes. Better than roosters. Yeah, so please send some comments or suggestions for things for the future. Next episode, what we're planning, not next week, but the week after, will be just the general state of, how New Colonia started and what happened with the fall of the United States and then what happened to the Republic. And maybe what happened to California, because, interesting. All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see
Thank
you soon.
you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jim.